Right here. Set up for awesome, Connor. Great to
Connor,
meet you.
nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
You can do it. Your voice is probably better than mine.
I don't think so. I doubt that. Are you going to be the one sending the microphone to the...
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just on the, I'm part of the TV team.
Oh, incredible.
Sounds good? All right, awesome.
Check.
Audio check.
Everybody else?
Everybody else good? Thumbs up.
Sound check 1 2. Audio level testing 1 2 3. Check 1 2. Camera audio testing. Test test test. Audio tests. Audio test 1 2. Check check check. Great.
You had it, man.
Go ahead and leave it. And if there's anything wrong with it, like some people fidget with mics and stuff, and they could have something on. But yeah, just make sure it's off. The other thing to note is when you're walking in front of the speaker, just pointing the microphone away from the speaker or just being sensitive to it.
Yep.
There's what causes that squealing feedback sound is when these guys get close to those guys. So just mindfulness of that, and you'll
Easy.
do wonderful.
Thank you. Okay.
And I'll leave them alone.
Recording in progress.
Recording in progress.
Audio test right now into Zoom. Check 1 2. You need to hear that. Hurry. Audio test. Audio check 1 2 for Zoom. Zoom audio test. Audio test 1 2. There we go.
short cables.
Are we good? Yeah, good to go. Thank you everyone for joining today, in person and online. We've got some colleagues from the media attending online this press conference that concludes the sixth meeting of the IOC Coordination Commission for the Olympic and Paralympic Games LA 28. For those that don't know me, I'm Bernardo Dominguez. I'm the head of Olympic Games communication at the IOC. I'm joined today on the IOC side by the chair of the Coordination Commission, Nicole Hoverts, also a LA 84 Olympian, and the IOC Executive Director for Olympic Games, Christophe Duby. On the LA 28 side, Chairperson of the Organizing Committee, Casey Wasserman, and LA 28 CEO, Raynard Hoover, and my colleague from the communications team, Alison Salcedo. We've got today with us as well the new sports director of the IOC, Pierre Ducret, joining us. First co-com in his, he's officially starting in June, but already announced, so dual capacity. And without, I think, further ado, I'll just pass the floor to Nicole for some introduction remarks, and then Casey will make some as well, and then we move to questions.
Thank you, Bernardo, and thank you to all of you for being here with us this afternoon. I sit in front of you a very satisfied and a very happy chair of the Coordination Commission after 3 days of intense meetings of this Coordination Commission. It is a true pleasure to be back in LA, and on behalf of the entire Coordination Commission, I want to thank Casey, Reynolds, and the full LA 28 team for your warm welcome and openness over the last 3 days. I would like to begin by expressing our solidarity with the people of Los Angeles and the wider region following the devastating wildfires earlier this year. In the face of such loss, we have seen the strength and resilience that defines this iconic city. A spirit the Olympic and Paralympic Games will honor in 2028 as both a celebration of sport and a tribute to the enduring spirit of this community. Since our last visit, it was actually the whole commission was here in November, we have seen a significant progress, and I have to really emphasize that. It was a huge difference between November and today. The LA 28 team is growing fast, leadership is in place, functions are activating, and detailed planning is advancing with the delivery partners. It was really inspiring to visit the new offices where this work is now taking place and meeting the new team members who continue to join daily. Another major milestone in recent months has been the finalization of the Olympic and Paralympic Venue Master Plan. They showcase one of LA 28's greatest strengths, Southern California's world-class existing venues. And by doing this, they also reduce complexity, enhance sustainability, and tap into the region's identity. We saw firsthand an example of that during a very enjoyable Tuesday evening at the Dodger Stadium, with a thrilling extra inning win by the local team. And we have the video to prove it, how excited we were as excited spectators at that event. It gave us a sense of what these games will be about. The world's best athletes competing in some of the most iconic existing sport venues in the world. We also recognize the continued strength of LA 28's commercial program. The caliber of new domestic partnerships this year highlights the power of the Olympic Games to bring people together, create long-term value, and reflect growing national engagement with LA 28's vision. And that engagement will deepen in the months ahead with key public-facing milestones to come, including announcement around volunteerism, ticketing, and hospitality. This momentum is reinforced by support from all levels of government. During our visit, we were joined, and actually we were very honored to be joined by Mayor Karen Bass, City Council President Marquise Harris Dawson, and City Executive Director of Major Events, Paul Krikorian. Their leadership and commitment to a meaningful legacy for all Angelenos is deeply appreciated. We were also encouraged to hear that from the city to the state to the federal level, LA28 is backed by an ecosystem of public partners who support and understand the opportunity that these games represent. It was reassuring to see that the organizing committee, too, is already acting on these opportunities to create social impact. Be it through the 900,000 kids enrolled in the Play LA programs, by thinking about how local and small businesses can win games contracts, or to promote employment among the local population. Just as important as venues, operations, and commercial advancements are the people of Los Angeles, a rich mosaic of communities that reflect the global identity of the Olympic movement. These communities are not only excited to welcome the world, they are actively engaged in shaping the Games and benefiting from initiatives that will create a legacy for the city. The IOC will continue to walk alongside LA28's every step of the way with trust, partnership, and respect for the determination driving this project forward. Los Angeles is creating the what's next, an invitation to the world, shaped by resilience and carried forward by a city that has always known how to dream big. And as we conclude this visit, we leave with confidence in the progress made and the path ahead. Now, before I pass the floor to Casey, I really want to share some personal words, because the city of LA, of course, is a very special city to me. It is the city where in 1984 I competed in the swimming pool in synchronized swimming. And every time that I hear the name LA or think about it, it fills me with great pride. Because as the city of LA and the Olympic Games in 1984 changed the Olympic movement, and I thought about this very often, Casey, how the Games of 1984 were so special. They were the first really commercially organized games that left a positive financial impact for the whole movement and also for the whole city and the state. It was special in many other ways as well. And last night we talked about this. I remember so very well that the image of the first women's marathon with this very, very tiny Joan Benoit with her handkerchief on her head entering the stadium, which made history for being the first woman to participate and win an Olympic marathon in history. It was also the first time that women's softball, the team of women's softball, participated as a clear consequence of the 1972 Title IX law that really promoted women's sports. It was also the games where the first Muslim woman, our very dear colleague Nawal Al-Mutawakkil, won a gold medal at the Olympic Games in the Coliseum. And it was also the games where the sport of synchronized swimming, my sport, opened the opportunity for a young girl like me from a small island in the Caribbean to participate and become an Olympian. And that's why I'm wearing this with such pride. But after, it was also the games, as I said, that had a very positive financial impact. And through that financial result, the LA84 Foundation was able to fund for over 40 years, and up until this very day, a lot of youth sports projects. And I think we should never underscore that importance of that. Over 4 decades, many kids were benefiting from the results of the LA84 Games. Now we're doing something different. The LA84 Foundation managed the funds that were the positive result of the Games. We are now doing something that starts even before the Games. The Play LA program is a program that is benefiting so many young kids already ahead of the Games. And we have mentioned the 900,000 kids that have enrolled since the inception of that program, but we have seen it firsthand, the effect it has on young kids and young people, not only in the city, but also, as we hope, in the wider state of California. The 2028 program is known, and you know now that the Games of LA 2028 is going to have a very big impact on women's sports. We're going to have more women than men participating. At least we have the quotas. We have to see how they will be filled in the years ahead. We will have more women's teams participating, and we will even have, I have to stand this out, in women's football, soccer, more women's teams than men's teams participating. And that's a great legacy ahead of the Games even. We are investing in youth. We saw that. And that is a very important legacy for us to leave. So I did not want to leave this opportunity to share with you this personal experience that I have with the city, how proud I am of the city, how proud I am of the team that Casey and Legacy are really assembling with very talented, very enthusiastic, and very dedicated and capable persons that even though they have come on board very shortly and very recently, they have done really a great job, and we have benefited from this through 3 days of intense meetings, but very positive meetings. So, yes, we leave the city happy, satisfied, very confident with the road ahead. And without further ado, I think I'm now going to pass the floor to Casey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for your friendship and your partnership on this journey. And it really is, as I said to you last night, special for us in LA and for me personally to have you as the chair of our coordination commission, given your history and connectivity to this community. And it will be a very proud moment to be with you on July 14th, 2028 for opening ceremonies. I will also just point out that the best thing about going to the Dodger game was they've learned that walk-off is a good thing, not a bad thing. So we did make progress this week. It's been nearly 6 months since we last hosted our coordination commission, and I'm pleased to announce we've driven significant progress. Listening to Nicole talk is like when you're a kid and your parents compliment you. It's like it feels really good. So I know that our team is encouraged and appreciative because we've put a lot of hard work over the last 6 months to really continue to push forward our program and our delivery ethos. And it's nice to have a group of people who are truly experts at the Olympic Games recognize the work we're doing. We've got a long way to go, but it's really appreciated. And Christoph and your team, thank you. Obviously, since we last met, the fires in LA, a horrific and devastating tragedy in our community happened. But in the true LA spirit, what we have seen is from across the region, around the world, support, engagement, commitment to rebuild LA stronger than ever, not just in those communities, but as a city as a whole. And as we get to 2028, I have no doubt that when we light that Olympic flame, it'll be a flame of rebirth for our city, and we look forward to that moment. I want to thank everyone around the country and the world who's on our Zoom today, and the press in the room. We appreciate your engagement with us. And excited for the journey ahead. We are really confident in the progress we've made, and we're focused on what we've always done, to deliver the greatest games we are capable of delivering in this city in the most fiscally responsible way that pays dividends for every member of the Olympic movement in our community. We've had a really productive 3 days. I want to thank the whole Coordination Commission. I believe there were 16 IOC members here and some 20-odd subject matter experts and members of the IOC staff to really engage with us. It was really a great group of people who continue to be our partners in this journey. We really focused on several issues on this COCOM. First and foremost, operational planning across all stakeholders because, again, we are in delivery mode now. We are 1,135 days away from opening ceremonies. And yes, we are counting every day. The one thing Reynold and I haven't figured out how to do is buy another day, so we're going to stick with 1,135 and be ready for July 14th. And so that delivery mode, that ethos of operations, of execution, of getting things done, moving the ball down the field every day that Reynold has built and instilled in our team was a really important for us to share with and get into the details behind with the Coordination Commission. So 1,135 days away will come quickly. I started this journey in 2014. We were awarded the games in 2017. I didn't imagine we'd be pretty close to 3 years out ever, and here we are. So our focus comes from a fully developed venue plan that allows us to progress with clarity and detail and certainty. The Paralympic venue plan we announced this week, and with those two announcements, the specifics around delivery and execution and planning and experience are now in play and being developed as we speak. Obviously, we also announced the International Broadcast Center at Hollywood Park. They broke ground to build their studios, which we will use and will be the first tenant of for the IBC. And then obviously all of the planning that requires our integration with the local, the state, and the federal government is deep in process. I feel really optimistic about our revenue progress, the pace of partnerships. Obviously, without revenue, we don't have money to spend. And so we will continue to be incredibly aggressive to generate as much revenue as we can, to create as much opportunity as we can to deliver spectacular games. We were fortunate enough to announce on Monday, Honda is a founding partner, an extraordinary partner for us, someone who's been invested in the community for over 60 years. I did not make this up. Their first storefront in the United States of America was close to downtown LA on Pico 60 years ago. I don't think it's still there, but they are invested in this community. They are supportive, and they will be a tremendous partner for not only LA28 but Team USA. We've had 6 commercial partnerships this year, and we've got a bunch more on the way. And so the momentum is real, and we really are quite excited about the progress we're making. As we look forward, later this year, as Nicole referenced, we'll be getting into the details of our volunteer program. One of the great legacies and memories of '84 was the volunteer program. I still get people coming up to me almost every day, I'm sure you all do too, saying, you know, my first job was in the village. My first job was a translator. My first job was a driver. And so it's a really powerful legacy of '84, and excited to build on that as we head into '28. The second half of this year will also have us revealing ticketing and hospitality plans, which is an exciting step. And in '26, we get to some of the fun stuff, the torch relay, the route, and Reynold and I have, as we've said many times, committed to touching all 50 states, which we will think will be remarkable and has never been done in this country's Olympic Games. And then even we get to announce a mascot in 2028. So we are excited about the fun stuff. You know, we can't do this alone. We have a great team of people working every day, tirelessly, because they all believe in the ethos and the credibility and the values of the Olympic movement, and they love and are passionate about the city of LA. And that's why we all wake up every morning and go to work. It's why we will do this work for the next 3.5 years. It's why we will sacrifice and commit and dedicate our time to do this, because those two things are worth doing that for. And we are thrilled to have the opportunity to host the Olympic Games for the 3rd time and the Paralympics for the 1st time. And we think LA is one of the great cities of the world, and what an incredible opportunity for us to host the single most important sporting event and maybe event on earth in the Olympic Games for the 3rd time. I appreciate your time today, and I think with that we'll take questions.
Thanks, Casey. Thanks, Nicole. Just before we move to the questions, just want to give you a little bit of housekeeping. I want to go through how this is going to work. For those colleagues international online, just to let you know that we don't have any translation online, so English is the language of the press conference, so please make sure you ask your questions in English. We'll try to answer as many of them as possible in the next 20 minutes or so. So appreciate that if we could stick to the topic of the day, preparations for the LA 28 games. I think we can cover a lot of ground on that one and make sure we make the most of the time before those that need to take flights to leave can leave. And then IOC Press Office, ourselves, IOC Comms team, happy to answer questions on any other Olympic movement, IOC-related topics. For the Q&A session, if you're called on to ask a question, just ask you to state your name, media, and who you're addressing your question to. Online participants, you need to include your name and the name of your media as your username on the Zoom window. If you want to ask a question, please press the Raise Your Hand button on the Zoom window. If you are next in line to ask, you will receive a request to become a panelist. Make sure you accept the request, turn your camera and your microphone on. Once your name is called, you'll be able to ask your questions directly. For clarity, please ensure you speak into the mic. As an alternative, those online can always write your question in the Q&A box. I'll invite now my colleague Alison to start the Q&A. Alison, over to you.
Thank you, Bernardo. Taking questions. Rory, Carol.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thanks for doing this press conference. Nicole, 3 years out, have you ever seen a city this prepared to host an Olympics? You know, it's been a very long runway for these games. You know, and then for Casey, same. You know, you mentioned 2017. Now it's 3 years out. Is this where you hope to be 3 years out with these games coming up?
Well, you know, the funny thing is that you cannot compare games to games. Each edition of the games is different because they have their local context, they have their local difficulties, their local challenges. In this case, I think we were thinking that, you know, 11 years is a long time, but I think it's not one day too many, really, because even though there's no construction, LA is a different kind of games. It's a unique market. It's a unique commercial market. They have other issues. So we have been involved since the beginning, and we're very happy with where we are at this moment. We have a fantastic team under the leadership of Casey and Reynold, very talented people, very capable people, and they work day in and day night, and we're very happy with where we are today.
Yeah, I mean, for good or for bad, this is the first, and I can assure you the last time I will do this. So I'm not sure what I would compare 3 years out to. I will tell you, I feel really good about the team that we have, the clarity of direction that we're moving towards, the certainty of our planning now in place. And so we have all the pieces we need where we are today, a little over 3 years out, to have the opportunity to success. Having said that, it's our job to actually go execute that. So, you know, as I like to say, potential is the most dangerous word in the English language. So we don't spend a whole lot of time worrying about what the potential is. We actually have to just go do our job every day. And the team that Reynolds has built, the caliber and quality of people we have, gives me great confidence that when the world comes to Los Angeles, we'll be ready to show them an incredible experience.
Scott. Wait for a microphone, please. It's coming.
I think the big emphasis I would like to put on the progress that is being accomplished in especially the last 6 months. Not saying that before that it was going really well, but if we look at it now, the team that is assembled is consisting of people with a lot of games experience as well, people that have done this before. So what is normal in a lifetime process of games organization is that first you work on the vision, you work on the plans and everything. Last year, we had extremely successful games in Paris. So everybody is left that behind. Everybody enjoyed those games with all the positive things that it entailed. But then everybody quickly looked towards LA because now it's LA's turn. So since, let's say, July, August last year, LA is the next games. And everybody was looking towards, okay, now it's time to stop the planning phase and start about the delivery. So that is a very specific moment in the Games organization, in the lifetime cycle. And we see also what we did last night. We visited the new office. That was really a good timing for them to move into a bigger office. You have a bigger team, a bigger staff. And everything is falling together that, with this whole change of the phase of planning, going into the delivery mode, you have a bigger team, you have people with games experience that come on board and that make it possible to make that transition to the next phase in the preparation phase. So that is basically what I was referring to with, the change and the progress that has been accomplished. Well, no, that's what I'm saying, so that other issues is, remember, every time that you organize Olympic Games, you usually have a lot of construction taking place. And that creates huge headaches. We don't have that in LA. We have the luxury of not needing to construct anything. And one of the biggest non-Olympic venues, non-competition venues, I should say, is the Olympic Village. And you have the village of UCLA being the a village for the athletes during the games. That is fantastic. Not just about, having this already in place and being ready for the athletes, but it is something, and we talked about that yesterday, Christoph, you have a village where you have this village and this campus experience that not many people have around the world. So you're offering that because of the fact that you have a village that is already in existence, that where the athletes will have this experience of becoming a student at a campus of a we talked about this many years ago when we started this whole process. So that is different issues that you have. Of course, having an existing village means that you cannot construct a village to the needs of the NOCs. You have to adapt the NOCs to this existing structure. And that creates some issues, which we are dealing with. It's not something problematic or something. It's just something different as compared to other editions of games. Maybe you want to add to that? No?
Yep. Maybe a couple of points regarding what it is 6 months of success. It's more commercial contracts.
Yeah, that too.
It's more kids in Play LA. And guess what? Play LA is just formidable.
Yeah.
This is pure community engagement. More kids, more success for the games. It is more clarity of purpose. The games planning is really hard. It's really hard. And when you come 6 months later and you go through sport, village, a very interesting one I'll go to later, commercial, ticketing, technology, and you have clarity of purpose, I say chapeau. And the last one, which is incredible in this market, but it's the clarity of how you deliver. Because you know what? Here in the US, and especially in LA, you have so many talented organizations that can be part of delivering these games that for each and every sport, you have choice to make. And they have an incredibly smart strategy of how to go at this very fortunate market where many players will be able to deliver the magic. So within 6 months, a lot has been achieved. And we couldn't be more happy than this. And I should end up, because it's always about that. More talents. So 6 months ago, you had a lot of talents, and you have more talents now, because a number of people have joined this organization, and they're all very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Can I just add, kind of from an operational perspective, some really, I think, a real important point, and that is, with the help of the IOC, the international federations, the city of LA, in April, we were able to really hit the unlock button, and that was our venue master plan, our ticketing plan, our program plan, our accommodations plan, all approved, and then just this week, the international, or the Paralympic venue plan released. That has allowed us to really unlock all of the planning and all the things that that Christoph just talked about.
Great, thank you. We're going to take a question from online, from Tracy Holmes. Give it a sec.
She's calling in from far away. So.
I'm sorry. We're going to go to Ed Hula. Ed.
Hi. Here we go. I feel I'm connected. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, Ed.
Good afternoon.
Yesterday, the White House came up with a list of a number of countries which are banned from receiving visas for travel to the United States, some with special conditions put on those. What is the IOC doing to, I guess, consult with the NOCs about how they're going to be able to navigate this hurdle for accreditation, and what is on the LA side? What's needed to do? What do you need to do in the U.S. with the White House to ensure their smooth travel to the U.S. ahead of the games and during the games?
Well, thanks for your question, Ed, and it's nice to see you. I would actually say that it was very clear in the directive that the Olympics require special consideration, and I actually want to thank the federal government for recognizing that. It's the games writ large. It's the constituents of people, the IOC members here this week, and for the next 3 years, the cadence of people from federations and governing bodies and NOCs and broadcasters, all the constituents that you know so well, Ed, that come to the city pre-games and during the games. It's very clear that the federal government understands that that's a environment that they will be accommodating and provide for. And so we have great confidence that will only continue. It has been the case to date, and it will certainly be the case going forward through the games.
Thank you. Yes. Microphone, please.
Hi, Max Adler from Bloomberg News. Homeland Security designated LA 28 a national security special event in 2024, and that was the furthest in advance that designation's ever been given out. Why did they do it so early? Are there heightened security concerns because of ongoing geopolitical events? Or perhaps are there concerns about homelessness in LA? And are you concerned that federal authorities will treat homeless Angelenos with respect in line with the values of the Olympics?
The designation of the National Special Security Event coming when it did is really a result of us being deeply engaged with the federal government since we got the games in 2017. We are really in this process starting when we bid our fourth administration, our third president, and the engagement has been continuous and will be through the end. The designation was important from a timing perspective, not for any special circumstance, just because the more time you have to plan, the better the result will be. And Homeland Security understood that, which is why we got the designation when we did. That is irrespective of the administration, whether it was the Biden administration then or the Trump administration now. The engagement and the understanding and the commitment has been continuous and diligent. And so it's not a special circumstance. It's a recognition that the scale of this event is unique. The responsibility does lie with Homeland Security, with the lead agency being the Secret Service. And the more time you have to plan, the more effectively and efficiently you can do that.
To piggyback on Ed's question, are you concerned about revenues in respect to fans coming in based off of Trump's travel ban?
No.
Next question. Yes, camera platform.
Paul Nankerville from Spectrum News. Just regarding transportation planning, I know that's been something that has been of concern locally, especially with some of the bigger venues, Carson, Inglewood, Dodger Stadium, Rose Bowl. Can you guys just speak about, just how that may look and work? I mean, obviously we're still a ways away, but just regarding that.
Look, the 17 days of the Olympics and the 10 days of the Paralympics are not a normal 17 and 10 days in Los Angeles. There are lots of things that change, traffic patterns. In 1984, I think people don't remember, but Mayor Bradley, had deliveries, truck deliveries only between midnight and 5 a.m. And so it's not a normal environment. And what that does is allow us to optimize the transportation system for all people involved, fans, athletes, officials, volunteers, everybody. efficiently and effectively, which is ironically why people say one of the best times to be in LA was the '84 Olympics when there was no traffic. And so we are very clear that that was a great experience, and we will do our best to replicate that. We feel very confident in the plan. Obviously, LA has invested unto itself a lot of in infrastructure here, and transportation infrastructure, far more than existed in '84. And that, combined with the support of the federal government around our transportation delivery, we feel very confident that it'll be a different version of the success we had in '84 in terms of ingress and egress and access and experience when it comes to transportation.
Thank you. Front row.
John Gittleson from Bloomberg News. Casey, how confident are you that these games like '84 will be profitable and that the city won't have to, taxpayers won't have to pay anything out of their pockets?
I take nothing for granted, but I'm incredibly confident. Frankly, losing money is not really an option for us. We understand that while there is a backstop from the city, that is not something we ever intend to get close to, and we have built our entire delivery to be tracked against the revenue we create, which is why we are being so aggressive and have been for a long time on generating as much revenue as possible, because it creates certainty around what you can spend money on. And we will make the appropriate adjustments if required to make sure that we manage this budget to break even at worst.
So how far, like what % of the way are you now toward your goal?
We're well over 60% in contracted revenue, which is pretty unique. We have more revenue today contracted than Paris did total revenue, and we haven't sold a ticket yet. So we feel very good about where we are, but like I said, it's our job to execute every day.
Thank you. We'll take another question from online. We'll try Tracy Holmes again. Tracy, are you there?
Hi, now can you hear me? It's Tracy Holmes in
Yes.
Australia from the Special Ambassador. Thank you for persisting. I just want to go back to Ed Hooler's question, and I'm sorry for going back to this, but Nicole, maybe you can comment on what sort of relations the IOC has had with the administration in America regarding visas and allowing athletes who qualify to come in and allowing media who are accredited to cover their teams to come in. And I know that is still some way off. And my question for Casey is, with regard to comparisons that are always made, what did you learn from Paris? Did that influence anything, change anything, or did it just reinforce that you're on a good track? Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. It's very nice to see you, and knowing that you're far away from us, it's really appreciate that you made the time to join us as well. As far as the question of Ed Hoolan, it was great to see Ed also on the screen. We, as the IOC, have every confidence in the fact that the local authorities and the federal authorities understand that bringing the games to your country is a big responsibility. It is 206 countries that are preparing to come to the games, and we have traditionally, and also for the LA 28 games, and the federal government has given us that guarantee in the past as well, to make sure that these participants will be able to enter the country. And that is something that we will be definitely looking at and making sure that it is guaranteed as well. So we are in line, and we follow the lead in this regard of the LA 28 team. We are very confident that this is going to be accomplished, and I think the reply by Casey in that regard was sufficient for us. We, as I said, are in constant contact. We work together on this because it's a result that we have to accomplish together, and I'm sure that this is gonna be executed well, Tracy.
Look, I first want to point out that we're very fortunate to have my predecessors, Tony Estange, on our coordination commission. Has become a very close friend, started out competing against each other, then we were able to raise hands together to celebrate 2 games at once, and I was fortunate enough to get to watch him deliver truly spectacular games for the city of Paris and the country of France. I think for us, Tracy, the really unique thing is when we got the games in 2017, we thought we would see 2 summer games in full presentation. And obviously because of COVID in Tokyo, it was a full games, but not with full operations, obviously given the restrictions. So Paris, for all of us, was the first games, summer games, we were able to experience and see firsthand as a team of people to get, you can understand the complexities, you can quote the numbers and the scale and all these things, but until you see it and breathe it every day on the ground like our team did for roughly 45 days between the Olympics and the Paralympics, it's hard to appreciate it until you can kind of put eyes on it. And it was an incredible opportunity for us. And obviously it was very helpful for us that Paris did such a spectacular job in every regard. They have certainly set the bar high for us, and we look forward to living up to the standard they set. So hard to point to a singular thing. I would just say that experiencing the complexity and the scale firsthand and what that requires of the organization in the lead up to and then during the games, it was a really good lesson for us all to see.
Yeah, can I just say before you go, one thing that Casey and I have often said as well from Paris is that we're just glad that they went first. and I think I speak for Casey as well as we think about Brisbane 32. All through Paris, Casey and I would hear, what are you guys going to do next? How are you going to they've raised the bar. What's LA going to do? And we was like, well, trust us, we got it. We know how to do it. We know how to throw a good party or red carpet and whatever. I think one of our goals for the Summer Games in 2028 is at the end, when the cauldron's out, that Cindy Hook from Brisbane 32, my counterpart, will say, what the heck are we going to do?
Exactly.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yes, in the back row. Okay. Mike's coming.
Hi, Kath Turner from Reuters. We are coming up on the 6-month anniversary, or marking 6 months since the wildfires in January. Casey, you mentioned that you thought the Olympic flame could be dubbed the flame of rebirth. Wildfire seasons here are getting longer and more unpredictable. What can you tell us about the kind of preparations and plans that are going into whether wildfires could be a factor between now and 28?
Look, I would say, and it actually was a good lesson for us in Paris, there's contingency planning sessions, and I think in Paris our team went and observed, and there were like 1,000 contingencies, small, big, and a lot of those contingencies are universal and some are specific. And in California, there's some obvious things you should be prepared for. Earthquakes, wildfires, you certainly hope that they never happen, but shame on us if we're not prepared for any and every kind of eventuality, because that is our job. And frankly, when I began the search to find a CEO, I wanted someone who understood complex situations with a diverse set of constituencies, who were used to being prepared for any and every eventuality with a lot more at stake on the line than we have in LA 28. And so I'll let Reynold take it a step deeper, but to suffice to say that saying we are lucky to have Reynold here on the operations and leading this organization day to day would be an understatement.
Yeah, I'll just say that, contingency planning is what we're doing every day. And the wildfires gave us an opportunity within the organization, within the OCOG, to think a little bit differently about how we're structured and how we impact the community and how we think about sustainability. And so I think in July you'll see our new sustainability report that will come out to the city of LA that will talk just about that, of how we're thinking differently in terms of sustainability and overall impact. And so I think there's more to come, but to Casey's point, we are thinking about all of those contingencies.
Great, thank you. This concludes our press conference today. Thank you to the media here for your attendance in Los Angeles. Thank you to those online. Thank you to our host, the Los Angeles Convention Center. Before we wrap up, we will do a group photo, so if you give us a few minutes to move mics and seats. And for those of you that are not photographers, if you could just make room in the middle for photographers to come to the middle, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much. Hope you all have a great day.